1, 2, 3, Reds!
Hello, my name's Nick McArdle and I want to welcome you to RedsTV, a new concept that gives you, the St. George Queensland Reds fan, a chance to get up close and personal and go behind the scenes with your favourite Queensland Reds player. This week we're going to meet Will Genia, and also James Horwell, the skipper, will answer your questions as his side attempts to repeat the successes of 2011 and pursue greatness in 2012. All that later, but first up, let's see how the Reds went in their 2 trial matches.
1, 2, 3, Reds!
The St. George Queensland Reds found early form in Cairns against the Brumbies. Strong work from the Reds around the ruck left a gaping hole for rookie Nick Frisby to exploit, showing promising footwork in setting up this try for fellow rookie Chris Sortia. Overall, the Reds were far better for the run and scored 4 tries to 1 in their impressive 27-20 victory in front of a good crowd at Barlow Park. Next up, the Reds travelled to Perth to take on the Fours, and it didn't take long before prop Greg Holmes crashed over the chalk. Digby showed he's been working on his kicking game during the pre-season, putting in this sweetly timed kick for fullback Luke Morahan to chase down at full pace. Another try to Digby, and a second try of the trials to skipper James Horwell, and the Reds sign off an unbeaten pre-season with a 40-10 win over the Force. They now head into Super Rugby 2012 full of confidence to take on the Tars in round 1.
Now on RedsTV, it's time to go hanging with Hynesy, and this week Peter caught up with Will Genia to talk about his recent trip to Papua New Guinea and also his stellar year in 2011.
1, 2, 3, Reds!
Will Genia's try in the Super Rugby final is a moment Queensland rugby fans will never forget. Accolades flowed for the St. George Queensland Reds vice-captain, so he sat down with the talented number 9 to reflect back on his successful 2011 season.
Obviously a very special year. I mean, to be honest, I think my highlight of the year would have to be winning the Super Rugby title. To finally come through and fulfil pretty much the dreams of so many, to finally lift that title was very special. So I think that's definitely the highlight of the year for me.
Following a busy season that saw Will feature in more matches than any other Australian player, he took the opportunity to relax and visit family in PNG as part of a well-earned break over Christmas.
Oh, I just went over there for a good 6 weeks after the season just to have a holiday. Spent time with my family and just extended family, relatives. Just did a lot of fishing and pretty much just rest and relaxation, get away from footy.
Having been born in PNG, Will knows firsthand the challenges young kids in the region face growing up today. So as part of his role as a PNG rugby ambassador, Will spent his time giving back to the local community. Given the opportunity by New Guinea Energy, Will jumped at the chance to reconnect with the kids of PNG.
I think growing up in Papua New Guinea, young kids tend to be very shy and find that they don't really express themselves because they're afraid of what other people think. So I was lucky enough to be involved with rugby clinics over there, and for me, rugby's obviously important, but I think the biggest thing was just being involved in something that allows you to express yourself and it allows you to be confident in yourself as a person growing up. And there's obviously a lot of bad influences over there in terms of drugs and alcohol, and I think sport in general is just a way to get kids away from those sorts of things. So I just try to push those sorts of messages and really reinforce that living a healthy lifestyle is very important.
The impact and influence that Will had on the kids will be felt for years to come. But these kids aren't the only ones that Will is going to impact in 2012. So let's see what his teammates have to say.
Yeah, definitely, if you run the wrong line or if you drop the ball or something, this is what happens to you. So it's you just got to know your role, I think.
Well, it's a bit tough sometimes. He's got a fair bit of little man syndrome and that piercing. He is that piercing, squealing voice of his is pretty tough on the ear sometimes, but that's the way it goes.
Thanks to Will Gagnon for coming down and having a chat with us on Hanging with Hynesy. Tune in next time for more behind the scenes action.
Well, the Reds' first outing of the season is against the Waratahs in Sydney on Saturday night. It continues more than 100 years of rivalry. Of course, the Waratahs beat the Reds in Week 2 at ANZ Stadium last year, but the Reds turned the tables back in Brisbane later in the year, and that's why they hold the Bob Templeton Cup. Let's see how the Reds line up for Saturday night, and we'll also take a look back at what happened in 2011.
1, 2, 3, bang!
Last time the Reds met the Waratahs at Suncorp Stadium, Quay Cooper was the difference, scoring a brilliant individual try, which was followed up by the crowd-pleasing post-try celebration, the backflip. The Waratahs' man to watch is playmaker Berrick Barnes, who is highly regarded for both his kicking and ball-playing abilities. Berrick was sorely missed last year when a head knock ruled him out of the last half of the 2011 season. Another key man for the Waratahs is hooker Tatafu Polota. He is both damaging with and without the ball, and he often gets New South Wales on the front foot with his hard running. But he is mostly known for his big defensive hits and is certainly a man the Reds will have to watch out for.
When greatness calls, we will respond.
Each week on Reds TV, one of the players or a coach will be answering your questions about the upcoming game. All you have to do is get on Twitter. The address to look for is @Reds_rugby. This week, James Horwell gives his thoughts on the Waratahs and their preparations.
1, 2, 3, bang!
Yeah, I think any time you play the Waratahs has a lot of meaning to it, and probably adds a bit of incentive to it. It's the first game of the year. Last year we got embarrassed a little bit, so we're going to make sure that we start the season off on the right note, as well as getting a good win up against our probably our oldest rivals. Yeah, you always get confidence winning against teams that we hadn't won against before, and that was a big game and a huge effort from the guys, and we've got to understand that we can back our ability against any side and going into any game, and we'd like to hold on to the Bob Templeton Cup as well.
Thanks for joining us for this first edition of Reds TV. Reds TV will be available every Thursday and give you exclusive behind-the-scenes access to the St. George Queensland Reds. We're going to leave you today with highlights of the Reds Golf Day presented by Volvo. We'll see you next week.
Hi, we're here at St.George Queensland Reds Golf Day at beautiful North Lakes. We're with Mikey Harris, the Reds Pro. Mate, handicap of 2 or 3 apparently. So.
As you can see, we're quite far away from where we began, and you can do that in one shot. Then you walk away with a brand new Volvo S60,
and deserving too.
Yeah.
Very deserving.
Gilly, what club do you want, mate?
Could I please just grab a 7?
You want a 7 on, righto?
There you go, Jimmy.
Thanks, mate. Cheers. You want to come out of there?
Oh, can I have a little bit of help out?
Just a 7?
Oh, what about that Volvo space?
Yeah. Mate, you've just teed off at the third hole of the Volvo car. How close were you, mate?
I was a bit intimidated by the Volvo actually.
Yeah.
Bright and red, a bit flamboyant. Got me a bit excited.
Yeah. Did you see yourself riding away in it before you hit it, mate?
I did.
Yeah.
I'm in desperate need of a car actually, so it would have come in handy, but no.
From fairway to fairway. Play of the day.